Hello everyone, welcome to my Batman Arkham Origins. I am the Knight difficulty, no damage walkthrough. This is the beginning area, Blackgate Prison, and this is great. To finally get the chance to record Batman Arkham Origins is a treat after saying that it wouldn't be possible, but with the Mirror Box USB 3.0, this is fantastic. And I mentioned before in a post on the community page of YouTube that I was busy recording Batman Arkham Origins, which was true. But see, the thing is, this is actually the second time I'm recording this game, because the first time I was recording this game, I got up all the way to the Gotham Royal Hotel, and overall, my progress on Batman Arkham Origins and just what I was doing in terms of actually recording the sections wasn't the best, because I was restarting sections a lot because I was not really taking certain sections seriously, and then there were also some problems with the combat encounters that were really becoming irritating. And pretty much in a fit of frustration, I decided to re-record this game again. So the second time I'm recording Batman Arkham Origins, I've gotten up till Mad Hatter, and that is when I will be able to continue this recording once I've gotten up to that point. But hopefully this time the gameplay will be a little bit better, and I won't be spending so much time trying to go through these sections, trying to figure out the best possible strategy, or rather, I won't be so caught up in my own excitement and just like hilarity that I'll actually take the sections a little bit more seriously, because there were certain Predator encounters that I wanted to do something fancy with them and not just simply do a simple strategy, and it was biting me in the ass pretty much. And because of the fact that I wasn't really taking the first recording seriously, that's why I re-recorded Batman Arkham Origins. So you've been waiting for this game for a while. I know like a couple of people who actually voted on the poll system said that they wanted to see this game more so than Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and I got like 85% of the 17 votes to declare that Batman Arkham Origins be the next game that I record. And it's good to go through this game, but it's also bad, because Batman Arkham Origins has to be the buggiest PS3 game I have ever played by far. And it's on par with that of Alien Isolation on PS4, because when I recorded my Alien Isolation walkthrough on PS4, the number of bugs that I was encountering, whether it be audio problems, crashes, scripting errors, just all sorts of moments that just impacted the gameplay significantly, and I had to do a whole bunch of restarting in order to fix these problems. It was absolutely absurd, but Batman Arkham Origins has honestly taken it to a new level. I've had scripting errors, I've had moments where events don't play out correctly, I've had constant frame rate issues, I've had infinite loading screens. Yeah, just the whole shebang, let me tell you. It's just, I don't understand how Warner Brothers could make such a huge mess of this game's optimization. Because I've said before in my previous Arkham videos that Batman Arkham Origins is my favorite Arkham game of the entire series. But in terms of gameplay, it's not my favorite. And in terms of gameplay, I would say it's better than Arkham Asylum, but it's not better than City or Night. City or Night, they have better gameplay compared to Batman Arkham Origins and Asylum. And it's stuff like that that's really making it a little bit hard to actually get back into the game with a very positive mindset, because anytime I encounter these bugs, I'm just reminded how much Warner Brothers completely dropped the ball with the quality of Batman Arkham Origins, because this game has a really fun story, and when the gameplay is working, it's fine, and, you know, like, the villains are pretty cool, and Batman actually stands out as a character a lot more compared to his incarnations in Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. And it's stuff like that that makes me love this game more so than the other games. And also, I Am the Night mode is my favorite difficulty mode of the Arkham series, because it's essentially a New Game Plus mode, only in a completely parallel scenario that is parallel to the whole idea of this game actually having some kind of level select system. You can actually play this game on New Game Plus without ever having to go through New Game, because I Am the Night mode is essentially New Game Plus, but permadeath. So if you die, you will go back to the very beginning of the game, but you have all of your upgrades from New Game Plus when you actually started I Am the Night mode. And that right there is a great way to get back into the true gameplay of Arkham Origins, rather than sitting through a false gameplay experience on New Game just to unlock New Game Plus. And I didn't have to resort to any kind of saving where I would have to copy my save data of New Game Plus onto a USB drive, and that would then serve as my way of bypassing the need to go onto New Game and then going onto New Game Plus. I can just die and I go all the way back to the beginning of the game. And that right there is another reason why I like Arkham Origins more so than the other games. And it's sad that Rocksteady didn't bring it back in Arkham Knight, or at least give a proper level select system, which I imagine is not going to be the case given that the format and gameplay that the Batman Arkham series utilizes isn't accommodating for the whole idea of a level select system. So I can understand that, but at least give us some way to go back to the beginning of your New Game Plus mode, the mode that is meant to define the Batman Arkham games from a gameplay perspective. It's meant to showcase the true potential of these games. Like, give us a way to play the beginning of New Game Plus, not play through New Game and get back into it. Like, it's something I've never understood at Rocksteady's games, and Warner Brothers had a really cool solution with this. And unlike every other permadeath game, permadeath in this game, it gives you checkpoints because this game understands its length. It's not like Last of Us 2, where for some reason you have a permadeath modes where you either restart a sub-chapter or you restart from a last chapter save or you restart the entire game. Like, why does it have to favor that kind of gameplay format if The Last of Us Part 2 is meant to be defined by its story and gameplay, and there's a lot of cutscenes in the game, and you're only going to appreciate the flow of The Last of Us Part 2 if you have checkpoints. If you don't have checkpoints, then those moments will come across like loading screens, and you'll not respect the designs put in place with The Last of Us Part 2. And I just feel like in some cases, implementing a permadeath mode into The Last of Us Part 2 was kind of disrespectful on the developers' parts, and I don't get that. But here, Warner Brothers, they clearly showed respect to Batman Arkham Origins in one respect, but every other respect to Batman Arkham Origins, it's not fulfilled very well because the optimization on this game is atrocious. Even the graphics look atrocious in this game. I mean, I get that they were likely thrown under the bus by Rocksteady because Rocksteady kind of encouraged them to do this prequel because they needed time to develop Batman Arkham Knight. But still, though, the quality should have been so much better, or at least the scale of the game should have been slightly less, but enough to ensure proper optimization, or at least fulfilling the base and fundamental requirements to be an Arkham game, not like your Arkham Origins Blackgate, like not that stripped down, but like something to be on par with Asylum and City. And it's just taking 5 steps back and actually ensuring that your fans are going to like this game. And there's a reason why Batman Arkham Origins is considered by many to be the weakest of the Arkham games. But I don't really know if it's due to primarily the story or mainly the gameplay. But if it's going to be based on the gameplay, I can totally understand it. And did you see that just then? That right there is one of my big problems with Batman Arkham Origins. So I don't know why, but even though this game utilizes the same exact gameplay format as Arkham City, there are problems that this game has that Arkham City didn't have. So right there, I threw my quick batarang in order to deal with one of the guys, but it prioritized the armored guy, and for some reason, on this game, if your quick batarang prioritizes an armored guy, it will kill your combo. Whereas in Arkham City, this was not the case, and you have no control over where the batarang is being thrown. So why is the game punishing you in an unjustified manner because you don't have any control over what actually happens with which target Batman chooses to prioritize with his quick batarang? It's so fucking retarded. And not only that, but the armored guys on this game are not implemented very well because Batman's capabilities are so limited when dealing with the armored guys. In Arkham City, he had the remote electric charge, which was so useful for providing you an option in combat, but not having to gimp yourself to then like restrict yourself in combat and to slow the gameplay to a halt. And there are so many moments where I make mistakes in the combat because the poor designs involved, or like the poor mentalities involved with the way they implemented the armored guys without giving Batman the right tools to deal with the armored guys. It puts stress upon me and I make mistakes, and it's so fucking stupid. And also, right here, this is Killer Croc's boss fight. But there are problems with Killer Croc's boss fight. So you remember how I mentioned in the Arkham games how you have to build up to X2 combo in order to gain access to long-range attacks? Well, you can't do any long-range cape stunts against Killer Croc until you get up to X2 combo. So I recommend that you build up your combo a bit so that you can then do the long-range cape stun and bypass the need to dodge Killer Croc's attack. Because the amount of times I'm trying to do the cape stun and I'm not at the right combo and Killer Croc gets a cheap hit on me, or some other enemy gets a cheap hit on me, it is so frustrating. Like, there is a lot more to hate when it comes to the gameplay in Batman Arkham Origins, and it's a massive disservice to the potential that this game could have been to be a really great Arkham game. But sadly, its reputation was just dropped down a well, and it doesn't sit well with so many fans. And I want to like this game, but when I'm encountering these gameplay problems and the optimization is so shit, and there's also other problems with the voice acting and also with certain elements of the story that are kind of understandable when fans are discussing these problems. It's making it very hard for me to like this game at times, but when I'm actually caught up in the gameplay, when I'm actually caught up in the moment of the gameplay, I can excuse a lot of those issues that are occurring. But when it's unavoidable, that is a huge problem. And believe me when I say there is going to be a lot to talk about when it comes to Batman Arkham Origins, whether it be in its positive qualities or negative qualities. But I feel like there's going to be a lot more to discuss with this game compared to the previous games, because this game has a lot going for it in both the positive and negative spectrum. And, you know, one thing I do like about this game is the inspiration that it gave to the Batman 2021 film. And the Batman 2021 film is the best Batman film I have ever seen. And the director for the film acknowledged that he took influences from Batman Arkham Origins when defining the direction of the film. And I think that was a very smart choice, because the story in Batman Arkham Origins is something that I'm able to feel more invested in compared to the stories in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and Arkham Knight, especially Arkham Knight, because the story in Arkham Knight was very weak. It was honestly the weakest story in all of the Batman Arkham series. And it was such a poor send-off to the Batman Arkham series in general, and that's why that game is regarded by many as having a really good story. And it's honestly tragic that Batman Arkham Knight could have a very faulty storytelling device, or just try to maintain the standard trope of having the Joker be the main villain through some kind of absurd mechanism. Like, I've already discussed this, so I'm not going to talk about this, but yeah, like I said, I'm going to talk a lot about the positives and negatives with Batman Arkham Origins, and this is a positive right here. So you can talk to Alfred in the Batcave, and it actually fleshes out his character a lot more. It also fleshes out Batman's character a lot more, and we never got the chance to interact with Alfred in a way that was actually meaningful, and this is a really cool move on Warner Brothers' part. And as LaserZ acknowledged with Batman Arkham Origins, he said that Batman Arkham Origins is more so about character development rather than actually telling a compelling story, like something on par with that of Asylum and City, and that's why this game receives a lot of flack. But when you understand that this game is all about character development and the like, that's when you can really appreciate Batman Arkham Origins a lot more in terms of its story. And I think that was a very smart choice in writing that LaserZ put in his review of the Arkham games. And just like him, I'm definitely going to acknowledge a lot of the positives and negatives on this game. But this right here is a blooper, so for some reason the game prioritized Killer Croc more so than the guy right in front of me. I mean, it's not really like a problem with the game. Obviously, you're going to be trying to prioritize the propane tank, but I happened to be doing that at an inopportune moment where that guy was very close to me. Had I used the back claw, I probably could have stopped him. But yeah, that's the one real blooper I had in this second recording right here. But I wish it was the last one, but I know it's not going to be the case. And I do have footage of this happening several times in my second recording of the later areas. But this is the end of this first part of the walkthrough. Stay tuned for the future parts. Thank you all for watching, and you take care now.